everyone, you're welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, and that's because so much has happened. We finally got a place and we moved houses. I've been busy working. I've been a mommy and a wife and life has just been happening. We're still trying to settle into the new place, and I'm so excited to be sharing this video with you because I'm going to be telling you what we did to get this rental application. So if you're looking to get rental in Toronto, you want to move to Toronto and you want to have a sense of what the process is, keep watching this video. So sometime in May I posted a video talking about my experience in Kinmount, Ontario, and I also told you that we're looking for a new apartment. That was May, so sometime in June we got this place, and yes, it's been over a month since we've been here. I have to tell you that finding housing in Toronto is very challenging. The housing market in Toronto is insane, and this city is very expensive to live in. So I can understand why some of you hate it here in Toronto. If you've not been here before, if you've been here before, I have to tell you that there are people who cannot stand Torontonians and absolutely do not see themselves living in the city. I definitely do not blame them for that because Toronto is a tough place to live in. In this video, I'm going to be sharing two things with you. One is what you need to look out for when you're looking for a place, and two, what you need to do to make a rental application, and of course how to be successful. We actually started looking for a place since last year when we found out that we were having a baby, and it was so tough looking that we just decided to stop at some point because it was getting cold. And then I think February this year we started looking again. Now you have to know this, looking for housing in Toronto can be equivalent to you looking for a job. You have to show as much commitment to it as you would if you were looking for a job. It takes all your time, it takes all your energy, and of course you have to research. Make the calls, do not be shy to speak with people about what you're looking for, and you know, who knows? It was so tough that we had to look into using an agent. Unfortunately or fortunately, that didn't work out, but everything all worked out. So I'm very happy. So before I go to the next part of this video, let me quickly tell you how the agent works. So basically, if you decide to use an agent when you're looking for housing, the agents, the real estate agents, have something called the MLS. I'm not too sure what that means now, but I think it's something that's in their database, and then they only see properties in that database, and the landlords of those properties pay them commission when they get you to live in that property or the unit, so you do not have to pay them from your pocket. So now let's get to the main part of the video. First thing you need to do is decide where you want to live. So number one is location. The location will influence the price. Number two is price. So if you're looking for a place in a decent location, I'm not even talking downtown because that is just crazy. In a decent location, you're looking at a price range of anywhere from $1,800 to $2,400 for a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment unit. It could be a condominium, it could be an apartment building. It just really depends on where and how big it is. Number three is the size. Of course, if you want a really big apartment, you know, you're paying a lot more. But the condominiums that are being built today are really tiny, and you'll be lucky to get up to 750 to 800 square feet for one bed. So yes, the older apartment buildings of course have more space. We had an option to choose between a condo and an apartment building, but the condo was about 700 square feet. It's 1.5 bath, sorry, no, 2 full bath, 1.5 room. So it's like a bedroom and an office space. they call it 2 bedrooms, but it's really not 2 bedrooms. It's small, more updated, had ensuite laundry and everything, all the good stuff, gym downstairs and all that stuff. But it came down to functionality for me. It came down to space. We have things that we would need space to put in. There was no storage, and we have a little son who's growing up. We wanted a space for him to grow into, and we didn't want to be in a place where, if for example we needed to do something or expand the family, would be thinking of how to move out and find another place. So it all came down to space for me. I just needed a place where I could function. And one thing that was also important to me, aside the size of the unit, is light. Lots of natural light. I have shared time and time again on my channel how the weather can really impact you. It's very important that you get as much sunlight as you can when the sun is up. So it was really important to me that everywhere is bright. So here we have a 2-bedroom apartment, over 1,000 square feet and ample storage. So it basically checked off all the boxes on my checklist, unless that it's not the most updated unit. But hey, who cares about an updated unit when you have a bright, nice, spacious place that you can function in? And we watch a lot of HD TV, so we can do tons of updating by ourselves. And besides, this is not a forever home, so you have to be able to separate what you want versus what you need. Number 4 is walk score. So a walk score is a score that is given to a location that is in close proximity to places like grocery, drugstore, the transit. So if, for example, you can do everything, say within 10 minutes walk of where you live, that could be a walk score of at least 80%. So when I'm looking for a place, I'm looking at the walk score as well, because I don't drive and I want a place where I can easily walk to do stuff. Number 5 is utilities. You might need to find out if utilities are included, because there are some units that might have some of the utilities like heat and water included, and you have to pay the rest. But if you're moving into a place that is shared, there might be everything inclusive, like internet and cable and everything else. So all you need to do is just to pay one bill in rent. I want to give you one very quick advice. When you are looking for a place, you find a place that you want, you call and then you make an appointment for a viewing. You should remember to dress well and to present yourself accordingly. For example, as a black person, we're being labeled so many things. You want to try as much as possible not to fit into that stereotype. Unfortunately, that is our reality here. I do this because I know that I'm being watched, and if you desperately need a place, desperate times call for desperate measures. So yes, you're being watched, and please ask questions that lets them know that you're thinking, that you're interested in the place, and that you want to know more about the place. Now let's jump into what you're required to actually make a rental application. The number 1, and I would say maybe the most important thing, is a credit history. So a lot of the time they ask for your SIN, your social insurance number, and they do their credit check by themselves. So like they say here in Toronto, your credit is your life. You cannot run away from your credit because it defines everything that you do here. The way credit works is that, so say for example, there are different types of credit cards. You can read about those. So now an institution gives you a credit card and there's money in that card. You have to use the money and pay back. So it's just like, say someone borrows you money and you have to pay back, but not only pay back, you have to pay back on time. And as you borrow and pay back on time, your credit is building up. The credit number goes up. So that way they're able to trust that, okay, you are not in debt, you pay back on time, you know. So yes, it kind of builds trust. This is just the lamest way I can explain it. I hope I'm doing justice, but I had to learn a lot about credit before I got a credit card myself. So yes, it can either make or mar you, because without good credit history, without good credit score, you cannot do anything. They usually like that your credit score is around the 600 to 700. The second requirement that you need for a rental application is work history. So there'll be a part where you fill out, you know, what you do and how long you've been on the job, and you'll be requested to submit an employment letter stating what you do, how long you've been there, and how much you earn annually. Also, they'll be asking you to submit your pay stubs for maybe the last 1 month or 3 months, whatever the requirement is. So the reason why they ask for this is that they want to know that you have steady income. It's very important for them because they don't want to feel like, okay, after 1 or 2 months you're not able to pay rent. Usually, I think that they like that you've been on a job for at least 1 year, because a contract job is usually between 3 months to say 1 year. So if you've been on a job for at least 1 year, they know that, okay, this is sort of like a permanent situation. So it helps them feel more confident with your application, and it definitely helps. Number 3 is a landlord's reference. So if you've lived in a property owned by a Canadian landlord, they would need a reference letter from that landlord. Some of these property management companies actually give you a form that you have to take to the landlord to fill out. Your landlord's word can be really important in, you know, helping them decide whether they want to give you the unit or not. Because if your landlord says that, oh, you gave him trouble while you were at his property, you probably tried to sue him, or you were always complaining about something, it's not going to help your application. But if your landlord says, oh, this person is a wonderful person, or you have no problem, they are very helpful, they were wonderful neighbors and all of that stuff, it's definitely going to help your application. So you have to make sure that wherever you live peacefully. This is not to say that if you're discontent with a situation, you shouldn't talk about it, but you have to respectfully resolve situations with your landlord wherever you're living. If you're coming from another country, I think there's a way that they do that. They might ask for a reference from wherever you're coming from. So ask them, oh, it's my first time being in Canada and this is my first rental, what do I need to do? And they might give you an alternative. The number 4 thing is first and last month's rent. So the way it works here in Toronto is that you have to submit a bank draft of the first and the last month's rent. So you have to pay 2 months rent with your application on the first month to secure your first and the last month's rent, because usually in most cases you're signing a 1-year lease. So just like a security deposit, you just have to secure that lease by paying 2 months rent. Number 5 is other reference from friends. So usually they might request for a family to provide 2 references from people who have known them for a while. So it's important that you let your friends know that you're going to use their names in a rental application, and let them know that they should be expecting a call. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, share this video, somebody might need it, and please leave your comments in the comment section below. My next video will be a question and answer video, so if you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comment section. I'll be looking forward to reading from you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.